Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, the chickens, and all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. Happy Tuesday. Happy Archetypes Tuesday. I hope you all are hearing me well. I am still having tech issues with my headphones, so I am kind of going blind on the sound, and I'm hoping that you are hearing me. So if you can, give me a thumbs up that you're hearing me or not, that would be really awesome. But welcome. I'm hoping everybody's hearing me. Welcome, guys. I am so excited. I know there are a lot of moms here. I am very excited to hear your take on what is happening, what was said on Archetypes today with Meghan and her guest, one of which is the First Lady or the Prime Minister's wife, or however they call it in Canada, Sophie Trudeau, who is we know is a great friend of Meghan, who's been a friend of Meghan actually long before she actually met Harry. So, but everybody, you're hearing me? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome, you guys. Let me see who's here today. I'm just saying hi. I saw our awesome moderators are here. I see Church Nelly is here. Hi, guys. Terrific Tuesday, and all of our wonderful squaddies in South Carolina. And let's see, Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. How are you? And Sherry is here. Hi, Sherry Ware. And Annie is here shouting out to everyone in the chat. It's like everybody's on Annie's list there. Hi, Black Queen. How are you? Oh, wait, today, happy birthday. Duchess of Success. Yes, it's her birthday today. So, actually didn't see when I didn't look to see what time her podcast is. I just checked for Barron's, and I know hers is usually later on. So I'm assuming that's when she'll have hers later on today. We can actually say happy birthday to her. Victoria Fabre is here. Hello, Victoria. And Joyce is here. Hello, hello, hello. She's like, I have listened to the new podcast. I love the Meghan lets us into her life in terms on her terms, and we learned a little something each week about her life. Enjoyed the podcast. Doria, I know. We'll chat in a second. I know it's all very, very exciting. Church Nelly said, yes, Baron said it's going to be a late podcast for him today. So I guess Baron is going to be later on. I'm not sure. I didn't check for Anne's podcast what time is going to be there today. I see Lorna is here in the chat. Hi, Lorna Williams. How are you today? I hope you are doing great. I see myself in the chat. It was just like, oh, hi, Petal. How are you? Dolores is in the chat. Hello. Ooh, yeah, you are, Dolores. Hello. Awesome moderator Karen M is here. Hi, Karen M. And Fancy is here. Hi, Fancy. How are you? And Emma Day is here. And Maureen, I see Maureen. Yep, there is Maureen, Diane. Hi, Maureen and Lottie. And Elaine, I see you as well. Where are you, Elaine? Yeah, here we go. Elaine Parker and Joan. And the rest of our friends will say hello as we go on. But welcome, guys. And as we were saying, I hope everybody got a chance to everyone got a chance to listen to the podcast. If you don't have the link, it's in our community page. So I posted it there first thing this morning. So hopefully that helped. And if you didn't get a chance and you didn't know where to find it, in our community page, you'll find it. And at the end of this podcast, at the end of this episode, I will be putting the link in our show notes to this episode as well. So you can go ahead and watch it. But I'm going to stay in the chat for the majority of the time because I kind of just want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm telling you, every week I have this, I'm realizing how incredibly shallow I am. I am like every week, oh no, this is my podcast. This is my favorite podcast. And it's really weird with me and even this podcast, again, I'm not a mom, I'm not a wife, and I'm not a mom. And so, you would think that this wouldn't, in any way resonate with me at all. And I loved it. I absolutely, and probably because I teach. So I'm very much interested in and kids and just the life and their life at home. And also too, I had to check myself because I have to confess, I'm like, there were times I've judged moms, and it's just like, ooh, yeah, Paddle, you've done that. And so I'm like, I am sorry to all the moms that I've judged. And it's part of it is unfair because as Meghan was saying, they're just trying to do their best they can. They're not perfect. They're not, you know what I mean, and trying for perfection, as we learned in this episode. I was like, I never thought about it in terms of motherhood in that way, that how toxic it is. And so it's just like, oh crap, and so after hearing this, I'm like, yeah, I got to give moms a little bit of a break and understand. I mean, again, I am not a mom, so who am I to be talking and judging a mom? I've never given birth, and I've never had to live, you know, with a baby full time, like a full responsibility for the rest of, until they're 18 or 21 or whatever age they leave the house. So who am I to be judging? I should have a lot more grace, so I really had to check myself as well, to not to be too judgy. And it does not mean I can't have an opinion about something, but it's a very different to, have an opinion and then judge the person and then hold them to whatever my judgment is about them. That's not fair. And so I had to literally check myself with that. It's like, oh crap. And then I had to really come clean with myself. It's like, yeah, you've been guilty of that. You need to change that behavior and change that thinking. So, and again, with teaching, I've had to deal, or I've had to, so even that word deal is so negative. It's like, oh, I have to deal with parents. No, I mean, I've had to work with parents and, especially with little ones, whether in class or, working with their caregivers, their nannies, or whomever that's with them, and working with them for the best of for the best of their child. And so it is, it is challenging. It is very challenging. And I get to teach them for an hour or 45 minutes or an hour, depending on their age, and then I like, bye, go back to mommy now, and I get to live my free life. So, and I absolutely love that. So but it is definitely things to work through in that. And for me, in watching the way I think and not being too judgmental about things when it comes to that. So that just cut me to the heart. So today's episode, as we know, it says, in this raw, enlightening episode, Meghan unveils the roles of good wife, bad wife, good mom, bad mom, and explores the judgments behind them. In these candid, highly entertaining chats with First Lady of Canada, Sophie Trudeau, as well as Pamela Adlon and Sam J, Meghan delves into the pressures of what it means to be a partner and a parent in the modern age. And this episode also features authors Shefali Tisbari and Angela Garbus. And I don't know if you're like me. I knew who Sophie Trudeau was. That don't ask me. I don't know anything else about her. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup, honestly. I know who she is. That's Justin Trudeau's wife, but I literally don't know her face to be able to pick her out of a crowd. I couldn't do it. So literally other than her name, I had never heard of any of these other people at all in any sense of the word. And it's weird because Pamela Adlon, Meghan mentioned her in the Variety interview, but because I'd never heard of her name, it never registered until she repeated the same story in this, about going to Gloria Steinem's birthday party. And then she related it to this person, Pamela Adlon. And I was like, oh, that's who that was. But it didn't register in the Variety article because I had never heard the name before. I had no idea who this person was, never checked. I just thought it was, oh, okay, it was just a friend. I had no idea. And the other ladies, no idea, never heard of them. Today was the first time. And it was wonderful to just get to know them. And, from them, I had no preconceived ideas about any of them because, again, I don't know them. And even though I knew the name Sophie Trudeau, I know nothing about her. And so it was really wonderful, other than, her and Meghan knew each other before, and there was the pictures of her, Meghan, and Jessica, Meghan's friend Jessica. I don't remember what Jessica's last name is, but her friend in Canada, one of her best friends there. And I'd seen pictures of them like a while ago, and then I saw the pictures again today. That's about all I knew. So it's very, it was just a wonderful episode, an eye-opening episode, and a convicting episode. And I'm glad I got to get to know these people from themselves. So again, I didn't come in with any judgments, preconceived ideas of anything. And also too, we had no idea what they'd be talking about. So everything was brand new for me. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And let's see. It's scrolling down. Let's see. Thank you guys. I'm getting all the Barrett is gonna be late. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. So let's start with Joyce. Joyce says, love that we heard a little from Mama Doria, and Meghan has a lot of friends visiting her at home. Sophie T was a good conversation with the other ladies. And it's so wild. I don't know if there's ever been like, a video or anything about or with Mama Doria. But as I heard her little voice, it was so beautiful. How is my girl? She said. I realized I've never heard her voice. And so I'm like, has there been a video of Mama Doria speaking? I have no idea. I've never heard her voice before, and it was just so gentle when she says, how is my girl? And it's just like, oh, it was just like, I am like, oh my goodness, that's what Mama Doria sounds like. And again, I don't know. I've never come across any video, or maybe it's there and I just never noticed or never saw it. But it was just so great to hear her voice and I realized, like, wow, I don't know. She just seemed like this kindly, gentle person. And her voice is, I mean, again, I don't know this lady, never met her, so I don't know. But if judging from how Meghan is, and it's just so caring and just loving, and I just assume, and judging again only from her voice, she just seems that way. And I love how she's like, how is my girl? And this is like, oh, Mama and her baby, her little flower. And maybe I'm just, I just, maybe it's just me, but it's just like, I absolutely love that. I absolutely loved it. And I absolutely loved, as Joyce was saying, just the fact that, just because people don't see Meghan and Harry out and about, and their friends aren't gallivanting around Hollywood and paparazzi, there's this thing about Meghan and Harry not having friends, and they're lonely and all of this stuff in California. And none of us know. I mean, for me, as far as I'm concerned, they're just hanging out under a tree, reading a book and sipping wine or something. That's as far as I know. And it is so good to know that they're, again, Sophie with her kids, I think she has 3 of them, and coming to visit Meghan. And it was just so wonderful. And I love the conversation about them and their floatable pizza slice. I love it, and just the fact that Meghan had like this girl time with Sophie, and knowing that earlier in the spring summer, she had that wonderful time with Nacho and Delphine. So them being in California and, and Harry and Nacho playing. Hi, Church Nelly. Sorry. And Church Nelly was like, Nacho? You said Nacho? But uh it's just, knowing that they have really great friends, just it does my heart good. Because I mean, you don't know. I mean, we don't know. The only thing we know is that we are praying that they are just enjoying their life. And so I just this did my heart well to know that they have friends coming and nobody knows. And one of Squatty, I think it was a Squatty, posted on Twitter today. It's like, this is what privacy means. It means that you could have your friends come to your house and visit and nobody knows, and we only know when you decide that you are going to reveal that if you want to. And again, that is exactly what privacy means. It's like, you don't have people invading and revealing your guests or whomever you have. It's like your friends could come and nobody know, and you only know if we tell them. So that is a really, really amazing. Mad World says, hello, Petal and everyone. I wonder if Sophie was the one that introduced Harry and Meghan. It's so funny you said that. I actually thought the same thing today. I know they didn't say anything, that Meghan and Harry never revealed who it was that introduced them. I mean, people have been guessing forever at how they were introduced. But as we can see here, I'm going to move myself out of the way here. There we go. So if we can see better. These are photos with in a Mad World. I'm going to take you off so we can see all of the photos and everything. Meghan, when she had her Instagram, posted those. It looks like one of those booth photos with her, Sophie, and Jessica. And so they're taking all these silly photos in there, these kissy photos. And also, this is Meghan with Justin Trudeau. This is obviously before before Harry, as part of One Young World. As we know, Prime Minister Trudeau is one of the ambassadors, along with Meghan and others, of One Young World. And so this is Meghan and him at, I guess this is the one when it was in Canada. I think it was Toronto. I don't remember where it was in Canada, but I think that was the one in Canada where she is at the bottom. And of course, that's Justin and Harry, and we know Invictus is going to be in Canada in 2025, and Justin Trudeau and all his team and all the MPs, I guess you want to. If I don't know, particularly know if that's exactly the name or you call these government officials, if it's MPs, but those people who are there, they're all very excited and all in on the game. So, they all have a great relationship. Both couples have a great relationship, and they are kind of like each other. They're very touchy-feely, like the Sussexes. They're just very, very much like that. And so I love their relationship. And as as I was Mad World, I was exactly thinking the same thing. I thought the same thing. It's like, was it Sophie that introduced them together? Would I be surprised? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Would not be surprised at all. And of course, Jessica, I mean, people always want to be like, Meghan only married Harry so she can meet people in high places. And it's like, well, this was actually pre-Harry. Also, Jessica is married to Ben Mulroney, who was the prime minister. He was a former prime minister of Canada. So, and Jessica was and is Meghan's bestie. So, I mean, Meghan knew all these people. She was around this crowd long before Harry. And, obviously she was also friends with Eugenie before Harry. And so it's funny how people, it's like they want to revise history or change history. It's like, no, Meghan was in these places long before Harry, before she got with Harry. So I absolutely just absolutely love that, and love their relationship, and just love, just I don't know. Sophie just seems so down to earth, and she's like, for the homies, it's Sophie G. And I was just like, you go. I love that. She's just this cool mom. And, again, that's the first lady. I mean, do they call it? I don't think they call it first lady I mean, this is an American way of saying, the prime minister's wife, but yeah, first lady in terms of how we say it here. So yeah. Let's stay in the chat and see what else y'all are saying. Yeah, Sylvia is like, yeah, the podcast was awesome today. And as moms, I know a lot of you guys are moms. I'd love to hear your take as moms, what you thought, in terms of they were talking about just the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to be the perfect mom or to be the perfect wife. And, and I love how Pamela, how real she was, in terms of, in terms of, just talking about, she wondered what it was like, what it would be like to go to someone's house for their breakfast and see if it was as chaotic as her house, and just how real she was about that. And I absolutely love that. And here she is, Pamela Adlon. It's so funny. Again, I didn't know anything about her. Again, Meghan mentioned, as you can see in the Variety article, when she did it, about when going to visit Gloria Steinem's when it was her birthday, and just think it was a little get together at her house, only it was a big shindig for Gloria. And she walked in and it's like, oh no. And then Pamela just came and just introduced her to everyone and just made her feel so loved and so welcomed. And again, I had, when she said it, it didn't register because I didn't know who this person was. And so I'm going to take my banner off there so I can read that. This is Meghan. Oh, sorry. That's, get that where in a second. This is Meghan in the Variety article. She says, but before I could let my uncertainty linger, Pamela Adlon came to me and greeted me with such warmth and kindness. She toured me around the room, and at every turn, more generous and love was felt. Maybe it was just a testament to the kind of company Glow keeps, or Gloria Steinem keeps. But I think these women are extraordinary to ensure I felt so welcomed. It's like they knew exactly what I needed to feel in that moment. It meant and still means so much to me. The power of sisterhood and female support could never be underestimated. And she is, again, as Meghan mentioned, she is in a show called Better Things. And this is an article from Deadline in 2020. It says, Pamela Adlon is staying in the business with FX Productions, signing a new overall deal with the studio behind the critical praise series. Under the pact, Adlon will continue to develop both scripted and unscripted programming exclusive for FX, as well as a potentially other divisions at Walt Disney Television. And it is amazing what she's done and what she's doing. At the end, it says, just today, the series received 2 Television Critics Association awards for outstanding achievement in comedy, as well as a nomination for Adlon for individual works. And she is an amazing lady, and it's sad for me. I'd never heard. First of all, I mean, I don't watch television, and I had never heard of Better Things. I don't know anything about it. I had never seen it, but I'm going to put a link in the show notes, and I'm going to take a look at it myself. So if you want to take a look at it, you can actually stream it on Hulu. So I want to see what this Better Things is, and she is just so real, and I love that about her. So yeah, it did my heart good to see. And again, it meant so much to Meghan. And so yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Oh, thank you so much, Lydia. Oh my goodness. Yes, we have over 400 in the chat. So yes, please like and share our video. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that. And, click the notification bell so that you can know when we drop a video. So yes, thank you, Lydia. Jimad, why are you sorry? Hi, I'm not sure why you're sorry. I'm happy you're here. So um, let's see. Official Lauren Brown. So she's talking to Jen Martin. She says, well said. I can hear the classiness and gentility. Ooh, the gentility in her mother. Meghan has a great example in Doria. And it's so true, right? That softness, that, that, I don't know, just her voice, just you just feel embraced by her voice, and I'm just like, oh, I love that. I don't know. Sometimes I am a sap and a sucker for that kind of warmth and that kind of softness. And other days I'm like, look, other days I'm like, talk about a tomboy. A lot of days I'm like that. But there are days I'm like a total sucker. And I think today was one of those days. I'm a total sucker for that. So there you go. J-Matt says, hi, oh, Peter. Oh, is that Peter? Okay. No leaks in Montecito. Barron was so right. I hope Miss Trudeau won't get hate. These trolls are mean. I was a miracle wife. It was hard raising kids alone. Yeah, she is the prime minister's wife. She is, Justin Trudeau gets so much hate from a lot of different places. She's used to this. She's been around this game long enough, and she's been she's been a friend of Meghan for the last 7 years, so she knows this is happening. She knows, she was there when Meghan was pregnant, and again, Meghan talked about getting notes and and stuff from her and encouragement from her, so she knows this deal. And how to deal with this sort of thing. So yeah, it's one of those things that unfortunately goes with the territory, but she's been around the block in terms of this, so she knows this. So, and I think she would be perfectly fine. So there. Jan is saying, Mama Doria has a beautiful voice. You can tell how close she and Meghan are. It's easy to see where Meghan gets both her softness and her strength from. So true, right? So true. And again, we're just judging from her voice. And that is so, so true. And I absolutely, absolutely love that. Let's see. Official Lauren says it is cool to think that SCG introduced her to Harry. That is real power flex for Meghan. And again, anything that would make the Rhoda mad, you think? Yeah, it would be cool if it was. I mean, we don't know who, they never said who the person is that introduced them, but it would be kind of cool. It would be really cool and be like, you were introduced by a prime minister's wife, Yes, I am so with you. I am just as petty as you, Lauren. I'm like, anything to make them mad and anything to throw them over, for them jumping over a cliff with this nonsense, So I am just as petty as you are. Sylvia says Harry might hold the princess title, but he married up. When he married Meghan, Salt Island is shook by Harry's upgrade. They will forever be shook. They will forever be shook. And I think it's one of those things that is really gnawing at them to know that their best, i.e. the royal family, a member had to marry up. And, a woman with black blood at that is what is killing them. They know that they can't measure up, and that is what is eating them. And with them, if they can't measure up with the thing that they do, and we see them doing, and, is to try to destroy that person. And, whether it's royal commentators talking on, their talk show. And again, people like, oh, the royal commentators are saying, especially, one lately, basically, saying what they've all said. It's like they've all been targeting Meghan, and it just is one of those things where the news outlets know exactly who these people are. They know exactly what they do. They know exactly the kind of vitriol and the rhetoric that they have. And they bring them on for that very reason. These people are literally paid to come on, whether it's GMB or Good Morning, This Morning, or Good, whatever it's called, and Lorraine and all of these people. They're specifically these, ITV or Sky News or GB News, all of these these news outlets, they literally hire these people to come on their show or in their network and lie. They know exactly what, because they've been saying the same thing over and over and over. You know what I mean? And so they know that these people would come on their show and lie. And that's what they pay them to do. All of it to stir up outrage so that they can profit from our outrage. That's why they post those videos there, so we can see these commentators saying either racist, sexist, misogynistic thing, because they are banking on us. They're banking on us coming after them, whether it's to complain, to voice our outrage, whether it's to cuss at them, whatever it is, way people respond to them. They don't care that you're responding. The only thing they care about is that you respond. And that's why I've been trying to get it through some of our heads. Stop responding to these things. Stop allowing people to monetize our outrage. Stop rewarding them with clicks when they do this stuff. This is just bait. Focus on, the Sussexes and what they're doing, and just leave these people alone. And so let's see, moving on. Joyce says, Joyce, you're it today. The UK wants to create a new Meghan, the Meghan who is too smart, accomplished, and others can't compete. Harry knew this when he met Meghan. That's why he said he had to up his game, which he did. And yeah, he definitely had to up his game. Now they are, there is this thing with the Meghan is, she's so out, so brilliant, whatever. So she's manipulating everything Harry's doing, to the point where now it's like everything Harry does is because Meghan manipulated it in some way. And it's just like, you people just need to just go outside and touch grass. Seriously, go touch grass. Let's see. Adorable. There you go. See, I'm a sucker for this today. Mom's Doria. She said Doris, but Doria, I know you mean Doria, is a real classy lady, unlike the royal family with all their classless nonsense. Yes, and yes. You said it best. Let's see. Thank you, Church Nelly, for reminding everyone to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Let's see. Scrolling through the chat and see what y'all saying. Official Lauren Brown says, Meghan created a great life for herself as she is returning to her fullness. She's returning to her fullness now. Love to see it. And I do as well. Oh my goodness. I just enjoyed. So didn't you guys enjoy her talking to Pamela about what breakfast time is like? I mean, she said it's chaotic and everything, but her, getting Lily up. She's like, I was with Lily and getting Lily up, and Harry getting, Archie ready, and and I love how she said she makes the three of them breakfast, and it's something that she just loves to do. And of course, we know Meghan loves to cook. So, that is right up her alley right there. And, and I just love that. And Pamela was like, I hope the father helps. And she's like, oh yeah, my husband is great. Of course. I mean, we've known that. Harry talks about that when he did that interview, that bus ride with, what's his name? Oh, all of a sudden I forgot his name. The Tonight Show host who got into trouble recently for being a brat in a restaurant, for being nasty to some waiters. But anyways, all of a sudden I forgot his name. My brain is not working. But anyways, Harry talked about that, about when the Queen gave them a waffle maker for Archie, and Meghan loves making his waffles, and she puts it in there and and then she put it out, and then Harry put some, I think he said blueberries and some kind of whipped cream or something like that on it, and I guess, what is that syrup thing? The syrup thing, I guess, on it, and all of that stuff. So he talks. So we knew that Meghan loved doing that before. She did that before. So it's just great to hear it from Meghan about just their routine of, taking care of her kids and her hubby and their 3 dogs. And so I love it. And I get the sense from Meghan, as long as her family are fine and her dogs are fine, she is fine. She is that person. She's kind of that motherly, nurturing kind of. She want to make sure everybody is taken care of, the kids, the husband, the dogs, the chickens, the squirrel in the yard and everything else. And she is fine. She's one of those people. But I love the fact that, the conversation about not trying to be perfect and not trying to be this cookie cutter Stepford wife person, but just being your authentic self, whatever, in all its forms. So, let's see. Scrolling down and up. Ooh. Official Lauren, you are also it. She says, Harry seems like the kind of man who really enjoy being present in his family life. He knows the opposite and doesn't want that for his kids. Yeah, that is exactly it. I mean, he talked about and Meghan also talked about it in the Variety interview, that one, they work together, and they've been able to spend, and they work at home, so they've been able to spend so much time with their kids, in especially these years. They're never going to get these years back with their kids, and they were able to spend so much time with their kids, and as a family. So yeah, I totally get this. They're very hands-on parents, and I absolutely love to see it. Anne, hi Anne Lewis. Anne says, Harry lived in Lesotho and Botswana and learned how to care for vulnerable kids. He was in the army and knows how to be independent and dependent on chef, maids, and helpers. You're right. He's had this full life, and full experiences. And I would love, I'd love to hear, if he delves into some of this in his book. It would be great to hear from his perspective what was like for him, spending time in Lesotho, spending time in Botswana, spending time in Kenya, at the conservation in in Kenya, what all of those, along with the armed forces, what that meant to him, and the things he learned and the things that he did there. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love it. Let's see. Church Nelly says, still don't get a guy almost killing himself trying to do tricks on a motorcycle for a girl. Not enough love in the world. I am not sure what you're talking about. So this might be a news story that I've missed somewhere, but thank you for that news update. So is that a news story that we missed somewhere? So please let us know, Church Nelly. Compton Caligal. Hi, Compton Caligal. How are you? She says, Meghan is too good for the royal family. Her accomplishments and connection exceed their expectations as a Black woman. They wanted the world to view her as just an actress, not the humanitarian she is. And I will also say as well, as all the other stuff, as an entrepreneur, a self-made millionaire. They had a narrative, and they're still trying desperately to get that narrative out and for people to think, and they're just not winning. I think the more Harry and Meghan do work, and the more projects they do, and the more we hear, episodes and stuff like this from Archetypes, people are getting to know Meghan for themselves, and they're not buying into that narrative that they're trying to sell. And that's the thing which especially with the press, they're used to shaping a narrative. They're used to people, shaping a narrative about somebody's life and getting the world to believe it. And all of a sudden, they're not being successful because Meghan also has a platform. She also has a platform and could speak for herself, and people are getting to know her for themselves. And so I absolutely love this. And gosh, I will forever be grateful that they have left that island so people can get to know her for themselves. So yeah. Black Queen says, I feel bad for Charlotte. She will never know the beautiful life Lily will have as a young lady to express to free to express herself and live her life free from imposed inhibitions. I think this is one of the reasons Harry is doing what he's doing. I believe, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I believe in my heart that part of the reason he's doing it, one, to talk about what his life, and but I also think it's also a cautionary tale for those coming behind him, and also give them a blueprint of what their life could be outside of the royal family. Because, as I said on the last episode, they've already started writing negative article about. I mean, I think Charlotte is what, 7, 6, 7, whatever her age is. They've already started writing negative articles about this child. And one of the reasons I really was upset that they took this child, they took the two kids to the funeral, was this specific thing, because it's some lying story about this child at the funeral. And, so hopefully the blueprint that Harry and Meghan have laid out there, would give her, when she gets of age, could see like, oh, you know what? There are options. I don't have to stay here. Maybe I need to jet off to California too. Frankly, I wish all these kids, every single one of them, including George, and I know he's the heir and he's supposed to, but I hope all of them will bail on this mess, because they're going to destroy them if they don't change, which they're not, because these people are so set in their ways. I hope they all bail out of there. I don't ever want to see kids, grow up to that kind of, like, no, it's time to abolish that thing. It is high time to abolish it. So I have hope for Charlotte and Louis, especially, that they would, that blueprint would be there for them to see that there is a different way that they can, that they can live. Hi, Terry. Terry says, I could just see Harry being being sous chef for Meghan while she is prepping. Yep, the taster. He could do, if you remember that the video of Harry and Meghan when they were in Morocco, and Harry, he's like, Meghan, he's eating, and then Meghan would eat something, and then she would give him, and he'd eat the rest of it, and vice versa. It must be fun watching them. Meghan is trying to cook, and yeah, Harry's there tasting more than anything else. I would love to see it. Maybe Meghan could have like a cooking show. I could totally see her having a cooking show. She's such a foodie, and she has been on television in New York. She's been on NBC. I guess, what is it? The Today Show, I guess, in the morning. I don't remember. Yeah, the Today Show, I think it was, when Matt Lauer was there. I know I've seen a couple of clips with her doing, cooking up shrimp and something else she was doing another time. I don't remember. But I think she would be great. She was very, very good at it. So it would be fantastic for her to have a cooking show. I mean, I can't cook for save my life, but I will watch it. And I'll probably try a few things, not vegan, of course, but, it would be fantastic. So, oh, Mama Jane, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you so much for your support. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, apart from, they were talking about judgments, and one of the thing, judging parents, and parents feeling like they have to be perfect, and because again, you feel judged a lot of time. You judge yourself, you're very hard on yourself, and then there's the outside judgment. And I remember this. I don't know if you guys remember when Archie, as you can see, was tiny baby, and Meghan, that was right after the lies that woman, Sally Jones, told those lies about her, telling her royal protection officer to stop her from photographing her at Wimbledon, which was a whole big lie. And then I think it was a couple days or a day later, Meghan went to the polo match with Archie, and there was this so much criticism of her. This is a young mom with a young baby, and all over the internet, women all over claiming they're moms. I'm sure some of them were moms, but they were so judgmental about how she held him, that she's not a good mother. I mean, it was heartbreaking watching just the hate and vitriol against a woman just holding her baby. You know, the baby seemed fine. I mean, it's not gonna break, you know. And it was just, it was just so. And I was looking at this article today, and just a little bit of it from the inside. It says, following a Wednesday trip to Polo match. Oh, this was a couple of days later, the Wednesday. With her baby Archie, Meghan Markle is being criticized for the way she carried her 2-month-old son. Fox 8 Cleveland reported, upon seeing a photograph of Meghan holding Archie, Twitter users attacked the new mom, saying she isn't mom material and she needs baby holding lessons. And it was just so disgusting. And the majority of the people attacking Meghan were women, and it was just deplorable just what they were saying about her. And it broke my heart to see this, you know. And again, she was there supporting Harry. He was playing in a and that was the time Kate was also there with her kids, and didn't seem to be much interaction between them, but it was just like the baby was fine. It was completely fine. And but I just, that was brutal, you know. And so it just, again, it really, that was painful to see. And for me, I was hoping that Meghan didn't know about this, that she had away from social media and stuff, but I'm sure she knew. I'm sure she must have seen it in some way, because it was all over the news. So yeah, it was just really, really, really sad to see that happen. And again, which is why I had to check myself with, you know what, you need to withhold judgment when it comes to parents, and just be compassionate, and consider helping instead of criticizing. So that's my new thing for myself. Consider helping and offering help instead of being, judgmental and critical. Again, not to say I can't have an opinion about something, but judging is a completely different thing. Ray Raquel says, right, Pedal, but after what we now know, no wonder Queen Meghan held Archie so close. I'm telling you. Hold that child. I'm telling you. It just, and says, Meghan, not for any cooking show. She has other important issues to attend. She has not reached the pinnacle of her intended potential and goals. I mean, who knows? That could be part of it. And I don't know. I don't rule anything out. She has unlimited potential to do so many things. I mean, and it's one of the things that I am very passionate about. One, not boxing myself into anything, not pigeonholing or putting myself into any box for anything, but knowing that I am free to do anything I want and as many things as I want. Because the advice is usually, stick to one thing and focus on that, or a couple of things and focus. And I'm like, why? Why? Just do whatever you want. If you're anything like me, I get bored very easily. And so I have to do all the things that I do just to keep me from being bored. And I refuse, because I have people in my life in the same way. It's like, why don't you focus on one thing? It's like, no, I like acting, I like producing, I like photography, I like video editing, I like, I like to make soaps. I mean, I love to do anything creative. And why shouldn't I? And so I love that freedom, and not putting any limits on the amount of things. If you want to do it, if she'd like to do it, I don't know, but she is so great at it, and I would love it. So that's just me, but and you could be right too, so there you go. Terry says, I remember how, changing the subject, I remember how they criticized her for the way she held Archie. It was awful and disgusting. Yes, it was absolutely awful, absolutely disgusting. And again, women, especially women who knows if they're parents or not, they could just be saying that online, but it was quite horrendous. Let's see. Trish Nelly said, Lydia, I saw Kate wouldn't let George see the baby. She stopped him. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate to know. Interesting. Um, Adorable says, back to Adorable, says Charles wants a slim down monarchy, yet he is not happy Harry is doing well on his own. What a confused establishment. I mean, I don't know how Charles feels. I mean, there's no, but the press, through the press, they don't seem happy, and judging from, just as kind of like, sending my love to Harry and Meghan as they make their life in California and moving on, and then judging from his behavior during the funeral, that definitely, says a lot of jealousy and a lot of pettiness in a lot of ways. So, you know it again, it's all goes back to control. The monarchy is about control. They don't do well when they cannot control. When they cannot control people, they are just, that's how they feel powerful, and that's how they are powerful, is when they are controlling and you are on your knees. Hence a lot of those insults that they tend to want to throw at Harry and Meghan. And it's just like, okay, it just reveals their smallness and their pettiness. So yeah. Let's see. Moving on. Mama Jane says they can't help themselves with jealousy. For her holding Prince Harry's child. Whoa, wow. Yes, that was a very much a whew, that was a brutal time. Mary H. Hello, Mary H. Mary H. says, exactly, Paddle. Well, let's see what she's let's see what exactly I said. Says this was before the Oprah Winfrey interview. They tried blaming that on their hate. They tried blaming that on their hate of the Duchess Meghan. Are we talking about her holding Archie? Clarify if that's what you mean. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, why, thank you, or the impossible. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. I truly enjoy this week's podcast. Thank you. Oh, wait. You're talking about Megan's podcast. I thought you were talking about my. Oh, I had to catch myself there. All the Impossible is talking about this week's Archetypes podcast, and I think she was talking about this podcast. Oh, well, there you go. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. It was very enjoyable. Absolutely. See, there I am taking credit for Megan's podcast. Oh, boy. Oh, yes. It was absolutely fantastic. Let's say, moving on. Donna Sheckle says, as women, we are very judgmental of each other. We can share our opinion with love. Absolutely, Dana. Absolutely. This is exactly why I needed to check myself, in making sure that I, whatever, if I've, said something to a mother, whatever, that it's not, you not make them feel, because again, as with anything, especially in this, a lot of moms already judge themselves and they already feel like a failure. They already feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything right. And, especially if they're new moms, they don't need someone on the outside adding judgment to it. So, or to whatever it is they're doing. So that's why for me now I'm focusing more on helping instead of judging. Sherry Ware. Hi, Sherry. Sherry says, that Salt Island couldn't wait to pile on the hate on the defenseless new mother. They knew Meghan's mental state while carrying Archie. Just thinking about that makes me angry with the angry face. Yes, 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 yes. And everything you just said. Yes, that is exactly how I felt as well. It was deplorable. Yes, Lydia's like, I'm ready to read a book from Meghan. Talk about about a bestseller. Yeah, I just have, because Shutter Island, they've convinced themselves that it's a 3-book deal, which Meghan's bench was with Penguin Random House as well. So if it is, they've done the bench. Now Harry's book is coming. So if, as the Shutter Island Press claims, is a 3-book deal, which no confirmation of this from the Sussexes or Penguin Random House. But if there is a 3rd book, I want it to be from Meghan, and I already have a title. Since Harry is throwing, the spare at them, I want Meghan to throw something like, how they all want also to call her Duchess Difficult or one of those names. I want her to throw all those names on the book cover right back at them. And I am just like, yep, that's what I say. And her, really delving into how, as a woman of color, as a woman, as a Black woman, what it was like, there dealing with people who don't understand, or who don't, they don't understand, but they're knee deep in microaggressions that they throw, that, just looking at their so-called bullying claims, all you see is microaggressions being thrown at Meghan. It's kind of like, do these people even understand or even have a concept of what racism is? It's just like, it is just unreal. So I would want Meghan to, and again, that's my thing. I so want her to not be nice and really go after them for what they've done, but she's just so compassionate and nice. And I'm like, throw that out the window and go after them. So that's what I would want. But again, I'm petty like that. So she is not. Hildy says, it was a pleasure to hear the First Lady of Canada spending summer with her kids. And the Sussex says, it could have been Kate and her children if it was not for jealousy. Very true. Very, very true. And I absolutely agree with you there. It was just such a pleasure hearing the fun that they've had. And again, as somebody I saw in the chat early on, and it completely went away, and I couldn't click on it fast enough. They said no leaks, absolutely no leaks, and nobody knew. And it just like, how many other friends that they've had come and visit them, and nobody knows. And while others are claiming like, oh, they're very lonely and they're depressed and lonely and have no friends and nothing, you know what I mean? Harry and Meghan have friends coming to stay and visit, and hanging out. So it is just absolutely, absolutely wonderful to see. And another person I had no idea about on this was I had never heard about Sam J. And she is, as Meghan, also said on the episode, she's a writer and stand-up comedian. Jay comes most recently from SNL, where she spent 3 seasons, got nominated for an Emmy, and co-wrote some of the best segments, see Black Jeopardy and Them Trumps. While on the show, she was the sole Black lesbian staff writer, and only the second to be involved at all. Now 39, Pause makes Jay the second queer Black woman to have a late night slot after Wanda Sykes. And I had never heard about her before. Today was the first time I'm hearing about her. But one of the things that I love how Meghan does, and I need to imitate that from Meghan, is how, no matter what the subject is, she's always, able to infuse some humor, some humorous way of looking at it. And so it's not just like a downer all the time or any of that stuff. There's so many shades to her podcast that I absolutely, absolutely love. And so, as Sam J was talking about her life and her relationship with her girlfriend, her fiance, now, and it was just funny how she was saying that she wasn't raised this like person comes home and honey, here's dinner and here's your slippers at the door or whatever, and she's just not kind of person, and she had to sort of get used to that kind of thing. And then also too, because she is she's a tomboy, she that's kind of where she is at. Her fiance ask her to throw out the trash and ask her to open it. And she's like, well, I'm not that strong. I just may look or may, present as that, but we need a guy. We need a guy to do that stuff. I'm not, I'm not that way. And so it's just seeing the different elements of relationship, whether it's a straight relationship, a gay relationship, whatever. It's just seeing the different dynamics and how they've had to work through their thing, and she's like, my family's always worked, and as women and men, everybody worked, and her fiance is like, well, you work and I'll take care of the house kind of person. And it's just seeing the difference in relationships and seeing like, well, one is not bad and the other good. It's just different, and wherever they are, it's just different, and learning how to live with each other, I guess. So it was very interesting. But again, I love how Meghan is bringing all different types of people, whatever your culture, your background, your race, whatever. She's brought everyone together, and it's kind of cool to see all these different people from all these different backgrounds could share, maybe have differences in a topic, but in some way are able to connect with whatever, under the topic. And so I really, really appreciated that. I loved it. Lydia says, let's see what Lydia says. She says, I think she's giving an example of nasty things people call her, like they called her poor Harry Spare. We will venture if there's anything questionable, Church Nelly. Okay, I'm not sure who you're talking about, so I think I just eavesdrop. This is why you don't eavesdrop on conversations, because you come in and you have no idea. no idea what someone is saying. So, oh, Cookies and Cream is here. Awesome moderator has joined us. Hello, Cookies and Cream. How are you? I'm so happy you are here. So yeah. Let's see. Scrolling up to get more. H. Knight says, through these podcasts, she's letting them know that she knew these people before Harry, and they're afraid of Meghan because she's smart and they know it. Absolutely right. She is part of this podcast, she is, as she deals with this topic, she's dismantling their narratives, completely dismantling it, because if you leave it up to the UK press and their trolls, Meghan just fell off a turnip truck and showed up at Buckingham Palace, and and forced Harry and bamboozled Harry into marrying her and forced him to have kids with her and dragged him kicking and screaming to America and forced him to buy a mansion in Montecito, and maybe paid other people to have her children. That is the narrative. If you leave it up to them, that's what they want people to believe. And so she is just literally dismantling all that mess. And they hate it because that's why they have been lying and lying and lying with this lying narrative of, oh, they left so they can have privacy, therefore they should not be speaking. And because they're speaking, they should they should take away and strip them of their titles because they claim they left for privacy. Lies. Absolute lies. Again, they hate that Meghan and Harry. That's why, again, Harry's book Spare thrown in their face. Now they're behaving like the word spare is a foreign concept, we've never heard it before. Never mind, they've been the one throwing it in his face. So this again is going to dismantle their lying narrative, and they are scared because this is how they make money, lying about the royal family. This is how they make a living. So yep. Oh, Frida Bowden. Hello, Frida. I don't think I've seen you here before, have I, Frida? Or maybe I just forgot. I'm sorry, my brain is not working today. But she says, I like irrelevant for the title of Meghan's book. Oh, that is because that goes both ways, right? Because they always claim that, Harry's a spare, he's irrelevant, whatever. Meghan is, he's only the sixth in line and she is never going to be queen, so she's irrelevant. Ooh, I like that. And it goes another way. They are irrelevant. And so, Frida, I like it. I like the petty. I absolutely like that, Petty. um, Black Queen says, Church Nelly or Church Ann, I'm with you. Judgment deals to be dealt to those horrendous people. Yes. And Lydia's talking about Mama Doria. She is so nice. It will be called Flower. I hope not. Look, we need to go and kidnap Meghan and infuse some pettiness into her. If she called that Flower, I'm seriously gonna have issues. It'll be the one time I will be here and criticize everything about that name. Every single thing I will criticize about that name. She better be a little petty. I mean, Flower? No way. No way. She's got to embrace a little bit of petty. She has to. She just has to. Oh, that would be tragic. It's called Flower. That is just as much as I love flowers, but no. Oh, Chef Sandy Love, thank you so much for your super sticker. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. And Karen M is back as our member again. Yay, Karen M. Welcome. Karen M, our Montecito shout out. Welcome back to the fold, my love. Thank you for, again, our 2 cent screw supporting our channel from the kindness of your heart. Thank you. So, yes, thank you, Karen. Let's see. Hugba Stu says, Petal, they want them to be silent so they can do the talking. I mean, lying. Yes, exactly. Exactly that, Hugba Stu. Exactly that. They want to lie about them and make money off of them. And Dana Shekel says, the media takes the narrative from the podcast of to lambast M today about citizenship tests will make headlines because Harry could help her with couldn't help her with a question. She did say the test was not easy. They'll bring up any stupid narrative. It's what they are. That's about as high as their intelligence level. We just have to not play into that. We just to not retweet any of that nonsense. Just leave them to be stupid. It's like it's a free country, as they said. People are free to be as stupid as they want to be. We just need to leave them to be stupid and not retweet any of this mess. I mean, they're going to do it. It's Shutter Island. It's like, unfortunately, that's what the press does. That's what they do. And so, just let them be. Again, they are free to be as stupid as they want to, as that saying goes. Oh, my days. Oh, thank you. Welcome to the 2 cent screw. This is your shout. Montecito shout out to Oh My Days, our new member. Thank you. Oh my gosh, guys, I appreciate you so much hanging with us. And 623 of our closest friends hanging out with us, dissecting Meghan's podcast. But welcome, Oh My Days, to the 2 cent screw. I appreciate you coming and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And to all of our wonderful other 2 cent screw members, thank you guys. Let's see. And Sherry Wares, congratulations. Like, Oh My Days, congratulations on becoming a new Facts and Tuesday. Aw, thank you, Sherry Ware. I appreciate that. Sonia says, Meghan can keep the title Flowers for when she's writing about Lily. Perfect. I am so here for this, Sonia. Absolutely. She can definitely use that when writing about Lily. Not writing about her, if she's doing an autobiography, if she's doing about herself. No. That I could totally see that for Lily. But yeah, she has to get petty. According to my book, she needs to be petty, when if she's gonna write about her experience in that family. And another person that I never heard of, and Meghan read a part from this, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And this part she read from Dr. Shefali, who I again never heard of, but apparently it comes from this book, A Radical Awakening. And it says, and Meghan read this there, she says, there comes a time in the life of a woman when she discards her old ways like tossed shoes in the garbage, when she shreds her list of shoulds and obligations, and when impossible expectations are burned in the incinerator. There comes a time in the life of a woman when the approval of others, once jewels, now turn to pennies in her socks or sock, when the hunt for another is now replaced by the hunt for herself, when the parental tentacles of tradition no longer define her truth. Yes, Shutter Island. There comes a time in the life of a woman when her desire to fit in with the crowd dissolves, when her manic compulsion to be perfect vaporizes, and when her obsession to be voted popular eviscerates. There comes a time in the life of a woman when she simply says no more, when facade and artifice and guile leave her nauseated, and when righteous dogma and superiority repulses her. Shut up, royal family. I'm just injecting my opinions there. There comes a time in the life of a woman when she no longer fears conflict, but faces it boldly like a lioness, when she guards her authenticity as fearlessly as she guards her babies, and when she drops the role of savior, knowing she can only save herself. And I feel like Meghan is quickly getting there in this place where, it's like, nope, I'm good. And then she talked about that that quote she had, I guess, about all like praise and all that stuff goes down the same drain. Remember that interview she did? I think Georgia O'Keeffe's quote, that she's good within herself. And I love this so much. And it's so funny because I relate so much to this, because in my 20s, I was just like, it's, again, you in that age, it's all about, you're so scared and it's so like, oh my gosh, what is this person going to think? Everyone's opinion just intrudes on everything about you, where you become depressed because you're so worried about what everybody else thinks about you. And now it's like, I don't care. I think you literally get to a place, it's like, I literally don't care. I don't care if you like me, and I don't care if you do. I will say what I want to say. I will do what I want. I mean, I love being in this place of, I literally don't care. I am just going to be authentically me, and I don't have to pretend for anybody, because I don't care if you like me or not. And it's so freeing. It's so freeing that you can just be who you need to be whenever you need to be, and you just don't care. It's like, people like you, they don't like you, they, whatever. You can just be your authentic self. And I love that. It is so liberating. It is so liberating. I grew up, my heart was crushed. I felt every single day because of people's nasty things. I mean, if many of us who grew up in the Caribbean will attest to this, that we can be wonderful people, but we can be very harsh and blunt sometimes. And I got my heart crushed in so many ways by people's opinions of me, and in whether it's in my family, in my church, in my school, it was just every day. And it shaped so much. I remember when I moved here, I was so crushed that I felt like I was rendered mute. I literally had to teach myself how to speak to someone, and I remember when I came here, I was so shy, because it's funny, because when I started school as in kindergarten, my first report home from my teacher was, Petal is great in school, but she talks a lot and she talks too much. And I probably have said this before, because that was a thing that always played in my mind. And I always say, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I don't talk too much. That was the first thing someone said to me, the first report that I got as a kindergartner. I never forget that I talk too much, because my grandmother would always remind me to not talk too much. And I was very free and then slowly but surely, by the time I got to this country, I moved here when I was at 19. I was so shy, I could not have a conversation with people. I was afraid to have a conversation on the phone. I remember when I moved to this country, I would walk with my head down. People would be like, "Miss, lift your head up," because I would almost walk into people. And I literally took a job as a receptionist in a health club so that I could practice, because I figured if I was at the front desk, because there was a thing in me that wanted to communicate and wanted to have relationships and be able to speak to people again. But I was so devastated and crushed, and it just made me literally mute. And so I figured if I got a job as a receptionist, then it'll force me to talk to people. It was so hard when I first started that job, but it forced me to talk to people coming into the gym, and it forced me to be on the phone because I was the person that had to pick up the phone. And I will always credit that job of giving me back a voice and, to be able to have, relationship with people, because again, my whole like teenagers straight, up to when I moved here at 19 and I got that job, I think I was 21, I think I was when I got that job. It was, it was shut down, shut down, shut down because of people's opinion. And I took that in, you know and so it's so funny when I tell people that now. It's like, you are shy? Yeah, very so, very much so. But I am so happy to be in a place where now I can say what I want and live my life authentically and literally not care. And so for me, this is a huge deal. So that's how this resonated with me. And just like, yeah, there comes a point in your life where all of that stuff that was, it was so valuable, like for me in my teens especially, that now it's just like, that's like, throw that out in the trash. I really don't care about your opinions. If you want to come after me, I don't care. You know what I mean? You can love me or hate me. It does not change my life. I can live without your love. You know what I mean? And so that freedom is amazing. So I am so happy she read this. And again, hopefully moms will get to, all moms really will get to this place where, and I'm so happy to, where they're talking about perfection, the toxicity of perfection as a mom, where it's just like, it's toxic. It's not a good trying to be these perfect parents or even it's just be a person that, your authentic person. That's all you need to be. You don't need to be perfect. So I absolutely, absolutely love that. Terry is saying, I'm glad you got your voice back. Me too. Me too. And I always credit that job with forcing me to be able to get back to a place. I mean, when I think about, again, as a child, I was so out there and I would sing in church, I'd sing in, in my school and all of that stuff. And slowly but surely, all the criticisms and stuff like that shut me down so badly. Whereas like this person who was so free just became mute. It's just like, yes. So yeah, interesting. I am happy I got my voice back as well. Let's see. Church Nelly says, and Lord, let's not talk about boy babies and aim you every single diaper change, and you thought R. Kelly doing that on a girl was disgusting. And I have no idea. See, again, jumping into a conversation and you don't know what they're talking about. Maybe I should say, put pedal in the front so I know it's for me. So that way I don't jump into a conversation and I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry, Church Nelly. Jody says, King Charles III, given his mortality, didn't have to cash for honors any longer. Money is not their problem. The imagery and the power-conscious bunch are phony as the days are dreary in that troubled, despicable UK. I think money is an issue there. But, well, not enough in their case. They always want to take, that's why there's that cash for honors, cash for access mess, but yeah, it just, yeah, you're right. It's all about power. All about power. Donna says, pedal experience. Thank you for putting pedal for, so I know it's for, I could put it up. Our experiences do shape us. We have the choice to shape our lives, and that's a blessing. There is no perfect person, but authenticity is liberating, and it sure is. Absolutely is. I love it. Let's see. Arlene Lindsay. Hi, Arlene Lindsay. Arlene says, I think they were introduced by his cousin Eugenie. Actually, Meghan says differently. She says, oddly enough, I remember in an Oprah interview, she actually said, oddly enough, she didn't know Harry through Eugenie. So I don't think Eugenie was the person that introduced them, although she knew Eugenie before Harry. They were friends before she knew Harry. Oddly enough, she said it wasn't through Eugenie. So who knows? Maybe we can do a guessing game. Who introduced Harry to Meghan? Dolores says, Church Nelly, I remember she's talking to Church Nelly, says, I understand how you felt, Petal. I was curious and had no problem talking. Over time, I talked less and also became shy. Yeah, it's weird how that is. Did you have that experience about, be feeling shut down because of other people's comments about you as well, Dolores? If you'd like to share, please do. Arlene says Meghan's book should be called Spare Two. Hey, there you go. They obviously treated her as a spare as well. So there you go. Church Nelly says, I love Lydia's idea for Meghan's book. Queen, the derangers would have a stroke. Oh my gosh. This is perfect. I love Queen. Oh, I mean, the pearls would be, oh my goodness. Pearls would be flying through the windows. Dishes would be flying across London. Bridges they'll have to shut down. Oh my goodness. That would be, oh my word. I would love that. I would love her trolling them like that. I would absolutely love that. Official Lauren, yep, you're it. She's talking to Black Queen. Remnants of slavery days. It can destroy and build, but the right ingredients and lots of kindness and support are necessary. Whatever they're talking about, yes. Let's see. Another person that I didn't know about and I'd never heard about as well in this podcast. Again, none of these people I had heard about before. So Meghan, this lady was also, she's an author. She was also on the podcast. Her name is Angela Garbus. And she was talking about, basically where it came from, that perfectionist, woman in the home role. And so she was talking about it, and also the toxicity of just the idea of perfection and how toxic it is. And so it was great to hear from her. And again, I had no idea, I'd never heard of her, but apparently she is very popular and very famous. And she says, I'm a writer and speaker based in Seattle, Washington. I live with my family in Beacon Hill. I'm the author of the national bestseller Essential Labor: Mothering as Social Change, called a landmark and lightning storm, a gift that will be passed on for years by the New Yorker. My writing has appeared in the New York Times, The Cut, New York, Bon Appetit, and featured on Fresh Air and The Daily Show. In a previous life, I was a staff food writer at Stranger in Seattle. I am proud to have started my career as a beat writer at a local alt weekly. And a little bit more about her. Again, she says her latest tome, Essential Labor, latest book, Mothering as Social Change, out in May 10th. This was an article earlier this year, I guess. Delved deeper into how caregiving lacks a society safety net. As she writes on her website, as a result of the COVID-19 shutdown, many parents lost their jobs and many mothers left work to accommodate homeschooling after school closed. Essential employees, including healthcare workers, teachers, and grocery store employees, were also forced to grapple with non-existent childcare, all while still working full-time jobs. The paper-thin security of childcare through daycare and schools was quickly exposed, revealing how much America relies on caregivers, particularly mothers, to keep families and society going. And so I love that. And I love that Meghan also talked about her initiative and her working, especially for paid leave for all. She said, no mother or family should have to make a decision. Well, either I stay home with my newborn or I lose my job. And no mom or family, really, your husband, wife, or whatever your relationship is, or whatever your family model is, no one should have to make those kind of decisions. It's whether you take care of either a child or say a sick family member or whatever, or they lose their job. And again, this country is one of the only ones that does not have paid care for for families. And so it is just and I'm glad she talked about just basically her advocacy. Even though she didn't mention Marshall Plan for Moms, she also works with them and is advocating for paid leave for all. So it is really for me, it is just really great for just for moms and for dads too, that they are that they have broached the subject. And I hope, and it seems a lot of people are getting a lot out of it. And again, I am not a mom, and so I am also not a wife. So but I really appreciate it and give me a different perspective in how I, approach or interact with moms, and really just in my own mind and my own heart, how I think and feel about them as parents and how they relate to their children. So I'm really happy about this episode. I've listened to it twice already. I'm gonna listen to it again because I'm sure I'm gonna I've missed something. But one of my favorite things, again, in the episode, is just how honest, for example, Pamela was, in talking about basically she you learn as you go, and you figure out. And then she also talked about after all that, you die for your kids to be like, mommy, mommy, to say mommy. And then they're like, mommy, 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 mommy. And you realize, oh my gosh, I can't meet all their needs. And you feel, insufficient, And then when they grow up and leave, she's like, she feels like that's the most cruel thing a child could ever do to a parent, is to grow up and leave home. And it's like you come full circle. Now she's empty nester. And so she says, like, she treats her production crew, because again, she is writer, director, and all of this thing for her show. She's like, she learned so much of who she is and what she's learned and how she interacts with her crew is what she learned as a single mom, and of three adult kids. And so she basically interact with her crew as a mom will do it. And that is so cool. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people on set, it's like you're being on set is hard, and sometimes you need mama. Mama could be, she can lay down the law sometime, but you always know that she cares and she's doing it from a place of love. And so I love that. I absolutely love that. So, so I'm going to stay in the chat and see if you guys, if there are other things that you think you'd like to bring up that I would definitely like to see. Let's see, Emerald says parenting doesn't come with a handbook, so we learn as we go. So true, right? So true. I'm sure many parents would be like, can you just have come with a handbook? Can we have the to-dos, how to do things? Can it come with a video to tell me how to take, They don't, because every child again is so different. So, um, let's see. Anne Lewis says children are curious and their brains are stone. They're stones for information. They get shut down, humiliated in early age when they ask logical questions by some parents who cannot answer questions. Um, I mean, I don't. For me, I don't. I don't agree that their brains are stone. For me, their brains are a sponge, really, because they take in everything. They just, it's their minds. It's really a sponge. They have no filters, so they soak everything up in every part of their body, and soak everything up. And it's unfortunate that, yeah, because they do grow up. They do grow. I mean, it's a learned thing where if you're shutting down a child, then they're going to, become a point where they are so shut down that they're afraid to ask questions, or, you always get that, oh, this is a stupid question. Then I'm always having to, like, there are no stupid questions. Just ask the question. There are no stupid questions. And so, I hope people, and parents and, caregivers, whatever, are more in tune now than they were before, than just say, I mean, after a while, you're like, okay, because I said so, because they've asked you 50 billion questions, and you're like, okay, you got to eat your food now, you know? But they would have, you wouldn't shut a child down just because, now we have so many ways to learn. Even if you don't know, one of the great things with kids is being honest. If they ask a question and you don't know the answer, just literally saying, you know what, I don't know, but how about we go and find out together? They love that. They absolutely love that when we are honest and say, because we don't know everything. Love to know everything, but sometimes kids ask stuff that you just don't know. And it's like, just say, be honest, and then find out together, because why? They love discovery. They love to discover new things. And if you say, let's discover it together, they love that. So there's a way to get away from, the temptation to shut a child down, or shut a child's question down. So advice from a teacher, I know, because I've been there. Oh, official Lauren Brown, you are it, girl. She's talking to Karen M. Critical listening and thinking skills are rarer nowadays, so people don't always listen to the full context. It is not stated that Emma is a British citizen. Yeah, I know. Again, people not listening, people that it's like comprehension. Yes, that is a thing. Yep. Catherine says, hi, Catherine says, First Lady Sophia is so cool. I always liked her. I always liked her also with the Obamas. Oh, okay, there you go. She seems like a really cool person. She's very down to earth. She referred to herself as homegirl. It's just like homegirl Sophie G. I loved it. Karen M says, I notice how people are running away with the stating that Meghan is not a British citizen when she only said she was studying for the test. That is why I always listen to the podcast more than once. It's, just, yeah. Just know people are going to do it. And especially if like a tabloid picked it up and twisted it, they're not going to listen to the podcast. They'll just go with the headline and make a whole narrative of it. Hello, they did that. Even Whoopi Goldberg got involved in doing that. We talked about that a few episodes back. Yeah. It's just, yeah. Raquel says, Pedal, that happened to me and empathize with you. I was super shy. My parents were both military at the base. First day elementary school, another student told me I would never meet anyone being shy. Wow. That is, being in school and shy is hard. It is hard, because those are formative years, and those are years, deep down, I'm sure you want to make friends, but it's like that shyness and just like, oh, I'm so sorry you experienced that, Ray Raquel. I know how hard that is. I'm so sorry. Ooh, yeah. Dolores says, my mother thought I talked too much and asked too many questions. When I was around family, I talked less because children were supposed to be quiet. Yeah, yeah, that's one of the things that we were all, I think, in some ways taught, at least to be quiet, or now it's sort of become the inside voice. Use your inside voice, because as kids we're like, we don't know. We just like one screaming no matter where we are, and yeah, it's like that talking less. It's again, that was my first my first note as a kindergartner that I wouldn't. It's so funny the things you remember from childhood. That was my first note from the school and from my teacher, that I talk too much. And so yeah, I am so sorry you had to you experience this, because it's so wrong. I feel like it's so wrong, because again, it's shutting kids down, and that's the thing. It's not done out of hate or malice or any, and as parents, again, I'm sure they thought they were doing the right thing, because you want your child to not be, making a ruckus and talking too loud, whatever. It's done it comes from a good place, but it's still wrong, because then it damages the child, and it shuts down all of that stuff that you want to be. It shuts that down. And so yeah, it's so sad. Ugh, sorry, Dolores. And I think that's why now, as a teacher, I really focus on letting kids be kids and meet them where they are, as opposed to, okay, you can't do this, you can't, you know what I mean? I think, maybe I swing a little bit too much on the other end of that pendulum, but I am just such a proponent of letting kids just be themselves, letting them be kids, and making sure that they speak. Especially, I just taught over the summer teenagers, and that was one of the things that I noticed. A lot of them, they weren't verbal. I mean, partly because they're all about texting, but that was one of the note when I asked at the end. Some of them felt like they just didn't know that they can, they had something to offer, because they have not been, really expected to speak, especially in a class situation. And I feel like that's something that needs to be taught, that, because so many of us are shut down for so many reasons. We need to encourage people to be verbal, to share and to talk, and to get, whether it's to get stuff out or just express, freely express who they are. And so yeah. Hagiman says Meghan book should be called simply Soulmate, as they are each other's soulmates. Well, I think their docu-series show thing that they're gonna do with Netflix I would think that would be more this, right? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, obviously we don't know the name of it, but would you feel like that would be more geared to that? Because as Meghan said, it's about their love story. So in my head, that would be more that, right? I guess. I don't know. But you see, I really want Petty, though. That's too nice. I want Petty. So there, I want Petty. JJ says, Faxon2 says, have you watched My Liberation Notes? Give it a try. It's good. What is that? I don't know what that is. Is it like a documentary of? Let me know what that is, JJ. I would love to. Yeah, definitely want to check it out. Let's see a few more before we end. I'm just realizing we're about over an hour and a half. It's like y'all got places to go, things to do. I'm sure I'm taking up your time. Sorry. Let's see. Scrolling down. And Baron better not mock me with my scrolling down. And then blame Church Nelly again. Black Queen says, oh, Catherine B. Yes, we noticed. The only thing they tried to mess with was talking about Meghan is not 43% Nigerian. They fell by the wayside quickly because our Nigerian peeps showed out. Oh, they abandoned that quickly. One of the things you don't want to do on Twitter is mess with the Nigerian Twitter. You don't want to do that. So they dropped that one very, very quickly. On the Impossible says, yes, battle, Meghan memoir, Meghan the Difficult. Oh, Duchess Difficult, as they always try to name her that. Throw that back in their face. Meghan the I love it. I see petty. Or the Impossible. I'm here for it. Let's see. Dolores says, and that was my life then. I talk now. My son, he's an adult, and I have conversations all the time. I let him know it's okay to speak and express himself. Hallelujah. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you so much for, not continuing, because you know how easy it is to continue these cycles and break. I'm so happy that you were able to break that cycle and, share this with your son and allow him to be free and be able to express himself freely. So that is awesome, absolutely awesome. And it's so awesome to know that you have broken out of that and you speak. So that is absolutely wonderful. Happy to hear. Let's see. Trish Nelly says Meghan need to let her black side come out and catch a case just once, being nice to these trolls. Yes. She'd be like, I would tell you off. Let's see. Evilly says, "Hi, Pedal, great podcast. Meghan did a great job as a new mom holding baby Archie. The way you did, anyone could see that he was comfortable in her arms. Great job. The baby was totally fine. I think it's people seeing a new way of holding a child, and it's different maybe from the way they would hold their child, but the baby was perfectly fine." Archie was perfectly fine, and Archie is now a little kid running around. He's been perfectly fine. But again, criticism of a new mom, it just like the vitriol that was unreal. Let's see. Mary 8 says, yes, Black Queen. They didn't want to seem racist. They couldn't mess that one with that one. Yeah, no, they couldn't. Let's see. Let me see if I have anything else. Nope, we talked about that before. Nope, that's it. Let's see a couple more people before we head out. Yes, we love Nigerian Twitter. Yep. Karen M says, Annie, she's talking to Annie. Thanks, because I don't think he will be doing a 3-book deal. Again, if it was a 3-book deal, if the whole thing was a 3-book deal, Meghan already wrote a book her book was through Penguin Random House, and Harry has his book, and that's 2. So then if it's part of the, if it is true, again, we don't know. That is just what the British press was saying, and we know how they lie. So all of this with a huge grain of salt, actually, sucking a bowl of salt, really, with this one. But if that is the case, then, they've already got 2 down and 1 to go. So there you go. If that is true, again, salt. Yeah. Let's see. I'll get a couple more. Oh My Day says, I was a very shy child. As I got older, folks thought I was aloof, arrogant, but it was shyness. I am a social introvert now. Good vibes. Okay, there you go. So people mistook your shyness for arrogance and aloofness. Wow, that's sad. And now you are a social introvert. Okay, now good vibes. Okay, I mean, look, we're all different people. We, if is it something that is it a struggle for you to be a social introvert? Is it something you want to, not be, or you find as a social introvert? Like, it's, we're all different. And so, a lot for me, in a lot of ways, I am very happy by myself. Like, but I also like being around people as well. So I can go both ways with that. So, and some people just love just their own company, and they're not into, they're not into, socializing as much, maybe a little bit. And so we're all very different. We are all very, very different. So, and I'm here for all of it. So, yeah. A couple more, and I keep saying a couple more. So, let's see. Compton Cali Gal says, tabloids was mad they didn't get the money shot of Prince Archie's face. They got a little bit, I think, on the side, but they will never get over not controlling. They will never get over not being able to control Archie's birth. That whole situation of his birth, and not controlling when Harry and Meghan introduced them. They will never get over that. They'll be whining about that till the end of their days, because, again, control. They have to control everything. And so they are never, ever going to get over the fact that they have no control over any of that stuff. So I love that for them. Let them, let them be angry. Let them, keep twisting their knickers and twisting their pearls and doing whatever it is they're doing. I absolutely love that for them. Our faves are in California, living their life, doing whatever they're doing under their tree, swimming in their swimming pool with a pizza, with a floatable pizza. So, hey, do I care that they're upset? No. Again, I love that for them. So anyway, guys, that's it. I think we're going to end here. And I'm going to put a little bit of music to end. Again, I am flying blind with our music because, again, I'm still working on the problem why my headset is not working in my mic. And so I hope this is not too loud. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Nelly, Karen, and Cookies and Cream. Thank you so much for keeping our space nice and safe and really fun. Thank you so much for all of it. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents Crew members who absolutely I appreciate you guys, supporting the channel, and to our 2 members that joined us today. Thank you for, again, out of the kindness of your heart, supporting the channel. And also to all of our Gold Star supporters who support us, even like today, super chat, super stickers, super thanks, that little heart in the bottom of your video. Many of you support there as well. Merchandise, all of that. Thank you so much. And also a lot of you support, whether it's also purchasing art prints as well. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I appreciate it so much. And you can see the art print down there. Again, that's my dad's art print. So in the merchandise link, you can find them there as well. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out and indulging in just talking about archetypes, the episode today. It has, again, been amazing. I appreciate you guys just sharing your thoughts about it. And I guess I will see you next time. Thank you guys so much. I'll probably see you over at Barron's or the Duchess of Success later on today. Have a fantastic day, guys. I love you all. Bye.